Is when
Good
you
day,
allow,
ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Primetime Live here on Jess FM and Jess TV. I am James Cousineau, your host, and tonight we will take a look at headlines from Lethbridge, across Canada and around the globe, and then the fun part begins, ladies and gentlemen, as I stated last week. This week we're actually going to look at breaking into the music industry and how that has changed over the last many decades. Today's day and age may offer opportunities to find exposure online, but again, you're there with millions of others trying to do the exact same thing, just fighting for the same viewers and listeners. So we will get into that as well. So tonight, it should be a fun-filled show, ladies and gentlemen.
However, with the algorithms and the psychological breakdowns that they are
so some of you may know, or most of you probably don't know, that in addition to being an actor and a internationally accredited journalist, I also spent some time promoting musicians, did a lot of work with independent and small bands, as well as different productions for that are whether it's fundraising or other reasons or benefits, and that is something that I enjoy doing. I've worked in the legendary Greenhouse Studios. I've been in Brian Adams' Warehouse Studios, among many others, both here in Vancouver and in Los Angeles. For those that are starting out in the entertainment industry, in particular the music industry, it's important to realize that it's not always about these studio recordings, especially when you're starting out. You can look at smaller studios or self-recorded demos and such, and really, maybe even an acoustic set when it comes to TikTok or other online
countries.
Platforms.
They're targeted,
as I said, it is a very interesting world that we are spending, as I said, hundreds of millions of dollars opportunities to gain exposure.
You can fall prey.
You should also be aware that it does take time. It's not something that most musicians will find they get into immediately. You're not going to just send the tape off to a record label and find that they sign you. There is a great deal of opportunity there, but there's also a great deal of competition. That said, of course, there are the anomalies that happen, but it's very rare. So don't plan on just really kicking it off immediately. Even if you've got a great track and you've gone through the expense of hiring the best engineers and producers and mixing and all of that, there's a lot more to it, and there's a lot of marketing and other areas that need to be looked at.
Real.
Some of the great opportunities are actually ones within your own community, but also, not closing the door on the internet or anything else is important to remember, because there are, as I said, a lot of opportunities out there for people to experience and to really enjoy. So,
and for that, ladies and gentlemen, I encourage you to learn more.
Let's just jump into our program. If you want to call in, by all means, we are actually pre-recording this show. You're welcome to call in and leave a voicemail, and we'll get to it in the next show. We'll play some of the messages that you leave. The phone number is 604-385.
We're going to wrap up the show for
5093. And the reason for the pre-recorded episode tonight, folks, is that I will be in the studio today.
Next week's episode, we are going to be talking about
working on a series. So again, I will be unavailable potentially.
We are going to explore a lot of different things that are musical. So again, make sure
where we go 12, 14 hours on set. So I just thought that I would pre-record tonight's episode.
Once more, I'm James Cousineau, coming to you from the Jess FM
available for you.
Take care, everyone. Stay safe.
As I said, we'll talk about the music industry and such, but let's first kick off with, of course, taking a look at the stories that are important. Now, tonight, a major breakthrough in the Middle East as Israel and Hamas agree to the first phase of a peace plan. Great news if it sticks. In Ottawa, tensions remain high as trade talks with the United States continue under the shadow of Russian tariffs. And here in Lethbridge, polling stations are now open for the 2025 municipal election.
decide the city's future. We'll have full reports on these stories and more right after we announce, of course, our episode. In any event, we want to just announce, of course, our episode sponsor, Carey Movers, Western Canada's favorite and most reliable moving company. Whether it's residential, office, business, commercial, or corporate, Carey Movers has you covered for long-distance moves throughout Western Canada. You can find them online at www.careymovers.com. That's K-A-R-Y, movers.com for a quote. Log on to the website. They can provide rates and quotes for Western Canadian long-distance moves or local moves in the Vancouver and Fraser Valley regions. Now, let's move on, folks. A deal has been reached in Gaza. Yes, fragile hope for peace after 2 years of conflict. Prime Minister Carney has been in Washington facing down new threats in a high-stakes trade battle with Donald Trump. And in Lethbridge, your vote, your voice as the city goes to the polls. Plus, of course, police investigators shocking kidnapping on a city street. We begin here at home in Lethbridge, where a democratic process is in full swing. If you have not seen it, any of the promos, we've got several clips that we've been airing, and that is with Rufa Doria. Yes, she is running for city council. We have a full report and discussion coming up Friday or Saturday. That'll be posted here on Jess FM and Jess TV. Check it out. We had a great discussion. She was a lovely guest, and I think there's a lot of reason for Lethbridge to have hope for the next 4 years that we're running and hopefully winning. But in the event, democratic process is now in full swing, ladies and gentlemen. Advanced voting stations for the 2025 municipal and school election are now officially open, giving residents their first chance to cast a ballot and shape the next 4 years.
You probably know Vistaprint for business cards, but did you know we print everything you need to get your brand in front of your fans? We print banners and signs that help your business stand out. We print postcards and flyers that get people talking. And we print must-have merch like tote bags, t-shirts, and water bottles. Whether you want a few or a few thousand, we print on everything so that customers can go from noticing your brand to falling in love with it. Right now, new customers can get 20% off with code NEW20. Because if you need it, we print it at vistaprint.ca.
And tough questions.
I hate to say it.
The election is taking place at a critical time for the city, forcing voters to weigh competing narratives about Lethbridge's identity. On one hand, the city is being recognized for its economic resilience. A recent national report placed Lethbridge among the top 10 most affordable Canadian cities for renters, with the average one-bedroom unit costing $1,525 a month in September.
By the end of this video,
Ruth will not only expose Donald Trump's playbook, but also share one of her signals that a cost of living pressure is still a concern.
It's a lesson we can all use to find hope and
for many households.
But before we get to that, please make sure you like this
adding
video,
to the positive economic outlook, data from
hit the bell
Young shows growing confidence among entrepreneurs, with a notable trend of office users switching from leasing to owning their own commercial spaces. But this economic optimism is set against a backdrop of serious public safety concerns, which have dominated the headlines and become a central issue for candidates. The future voters are deciding on
boy, if that
basically come to the very future that they are looking at the challenges of a growing urban center and becoming impossible to ignore. It is a big challenge for everybody involved.
My study of
now, when you look at the public safety and community initiatives, of course, those challenges were brought into sharp focus this week with a series of disturbing crimes.
Which is
Lethbridge police are investigating a brazen kidnapping and unlawful confinement after a woman reported being grabbed and pulled into a moving vehicle. She told authorities the suspect sexually assaulted her before she managed to escape. In a separate incident that
triggered lockdowns at multiple schools on the city's south side. Police
turned
have
in the
charged an
book
18-year-old male with brandishing a knife at students in a school cafeteria. And the justice system continues to deal with yet another violent case, as the bail hearing for him is charged with an aggravated assault and attempted murder of his younger brother has been delayed. These events underscore a public safety debate at the heart of the municipal election.
And in
Yet, even
subsequent
as they
interviews during the
confront
fall
violent
through
crime,
December,
local authorities
I
are
continue
also
to feel that
pursuing
way.
initiatives aimed at
At one
healing
point I
and
said to
reconciliation.
Business
In
Insider,
a powerful
it's going to
symbol
be a
of this
rocky
effort,
road.
the
We
Lethbridge
should
Police
prepare.
Department recently
And so,
celebrated the first harvest from its new Blackfoot medicine garden.
Presidential immunity.
The garden provides sustainably grown traditional medicines for smudge kits and cultural ceremonies, a project developed in partnership with the Indigenous community to build trust and, of course, cultural understanding.
Afraid of criminal
As
prosecution.
we take a look also at city life and the local economy, that is also very important.
No,
Now,
I
in
think
other
that
civic news, the
the
city of
longer they
Lethbridge
are
is
in
launching a
office,
pilot
the more,
program for curbside battery
the more
recycling in partnership
corrupt
with
they
Call to
become.
Recycle Canada.
There's
From
never
November
been a
the
strongman
18th
who
to the
gets
28th,
into office
residents
and
will be
feels
able to
comfortable
place
and
in
says,
their
I'm going to
used
be less
batteries
corrupt
in
now.
a
Because
designated
what
bag
people
for
need to
collection.
understand is
A
the whole
move aimed at
purpose
improving
of
environmental
governance
safety
for
and
autocrats
convenience.
is not at all what we think of.
Also, a
in
reminder for
democracies.
residents
They're
on
not interested
designated
in
snow
public
routes.
welfare.
The deadline to
They're
register
not interested
for
in
the
doing good for
Windrow
the country.
Assistance Service
They're
is
interested in
Friday. Yes, this Friday.
making money
So
off
the
of
program
public
helps
office
eligible seniors
and
and
arranging the
those with
system,
mobility
including
challenges
elections, government
clear
institutions,
the
and
windrifts
judiciary,
left
so
by the
they
city
feel
plows.
safe.
So again,
So
this
they
program will
become
help the seniors and
untouchable
those
by
with
the law,
mobility challenges
whatever
to
that
get
means
those
for whatever
windrows
crimes.
cleared by the
And
city
part of
plows.
this
So sign
is
up
you
before
also
Friday if
put
that
into
is something you're going
positions
to
of high
need over
power
this winter.
people who
Finally, the end of
share
an
your
era for a
views
local
or have their
landmark.
own
Yes,
sketchy
the
past
Dave
with the law.
Elton Skate
And
Park. The
so
city's first is being decommissioned after 26
a kind
years
of
of service.
conversion of the political
It opened
class
in
and the official
1999, and the
class
park has been a
happens
beloved
where
hub
you get
for
people who
generations
are,
of skateboarders, and its closure is
at
being
their very
mourned by
worst.
many
And
in the
those are the
community as
people
a
that the
loss of a
strongman needs to
cultural
have around him.
touchstone.
And
Now,
so
let's transition over
one
to
of the
Parliament
things that
Hill
I
and
have
across
been struck
Canada.
with
Our
is how many
national
people
coverage.
ask me,
All eyes are on Washington this week,
are
where
there
the
not
future
going
of
to be
Canada's
elections? And I always
economic
say, and I
relationship
want you to fact
with
check
its
whether this is true or
largest
not. I
trading
say, no,
partner
there'll
is
be
being
elections, but
negotiated under
dictators
immense
love elections.
pressure.
They don't like free and fair.
Prime Minister Mark
Right? They
Carney
don't like
is
elections
meeting with
where they
U.S.
might
President
lose,
Donald
but the
Trump for a
pageantry
critical review of the United
seems
States
to quite like. And at least that's
Mexico-Canada
been my
agreement, or the
experience growing
USMCA.
up in the United States.
The
watching
talks are
people
fraught
of
with
the
tension
union.
as
Is that
aggressive
true, though,
51st
or-
state
or
rhetoric
do
and
some
continues
dictators
to
value
threaten
elections
Canada
at all?
with steep sector-specific
No,
tariffs.
it's an interesting subject.
The American administration has already
every
imposed punishing
dictator
tariffs
has
on
some
Canadian steel
form
and
of
aluminum and is reportedly
election,
taking an
often they're
aggressive
called
stance against
referenda
Ontario's auto
or
industry. The
plebiscites.
diplomatic
And
friction is
those
having
are
a tangible effect
occasions,
on
they're highly
cross-border
staged, they're
relations.
highly
According to Canada's National
engineered,
Statistical Office, Canadian
in most
visits to
cases.
the U.S. have
Mussolini
plunged by
had one in
23%
1934
in
after
the
he'd
first
done a
7
big
months
shakeup
of this
that
year
was very
compared to last.
unpopular,
It's a
and
clear
the
sign
economy
of
wasn't
public
doing very well.
discontent.
So he had a
Meanwhile,
big
when Donald Trump
plebiscite
was
so he
asked
could
about
claim
that at a press
99%
conference
of
recently,
the
he said he
population was
didn't
for
care
him.
whether Canadians
And
came
think
to the
about
U.S. to
we
visit
had
or
them
not.
in
Now,
the
this
occupied
pressure from the
areas of
south is
Ukraine,
compounded by challenges
and
elsewhere.
So Putin was able to
New
say, look,
figures
everyone
show that
wants to have
Saskatchewan's
these
exports to
annexed.
China have fallen
So that's
drastically
how
amid a
dictators
separate
use
ongoing tariff
special
dispute, highlighting Canada's
elections. But
vulnerability
they also, as
in
you
the
well
global
know,
landscape that's shifting towards
hollow out
protectionism.
the actual
For a nation
elections.
heavily
And
reliant
so
on
you keep
trade,
elections
these
going
simultaneous
today in the
disputes
21st
with its
century,
two largest
but you
partners
game the
underscore an
system also
urgent
through
need to
dominating the
diversify
media.
its
So
economy
the opposition's
relationships
message as in
and
Hungary
to
isn't even
safeguard
heard by
against
many people
future
anymore. So
instability.
you game the system so
When we look
that
at national
elections
security and
tend to come out the
immigration,
way
we can
you
take
want them
that
to.
into focus
And
here
if they
back in
don't,
Ottawa. The federal government
say
is
they were
moving to
rigged,
tighten the
and
country's
now
borders.
the new
Public
playbook
Safety
in
Minister
Brazil
Gary
didn't go well for Bolsonaro in the
whatever
end,
has
Trump,
tabled a new.
you have
Sorry,
a
I
kind
just
of
always
a
get
private
tied
army
up
of
on that
thugs
name.
that
And
attempts to have justice for this rigged election that you lost.
Regardless, anyway, as tabled a new streamlined border bill aimed at combating organized crime and modernizing immigration controls.
Donald Trump.
The legislation, as the government, this comes as the government faces growing scrutiny over its management of immigration programs.
The official apparatus.
At a recent House of Commons committee meeting, Immigration, Refugees, and Citizenship Canada, or the IRCC, revealed that as many as 47,000 foreign nationals who entered the country on student visas may now be in Canada illegally. An official stated that these individuals are considered non-compliant, meaning they are no longer attending the classes required by their visa terms. India was, of course, cited as one of the top source countries for these cases. Now, they also represent one of the largest groups for foreign students, so that would make sense.
If you think that
the revelation points to a significant gap in oversight within Canada's multi-billion-dollar international education sector. The IRCC admitted that it relies on educational institutions to report students who stop attending classes and has no independent mechanism to track them, while enforcement falls to the Canadian Border Services Agency. This systemic vulnerability is being exploited, as highlighted by a recent viral video showing an Indian influencer advising people to have babies born in Canada as a last
in Fascist
option.
Italy, which is a very interesting example.
This is
Mussolini
what
had
he
the
says
king,
in relation to securing permanent residency on compassionate grounds, and that sparked widespread
Italians voted
outrage.
to get rid of the monarchy after
And I apologize,
the
like I
nightmare
said,
of
not to
fascism
have,
was
but
over.
he's advising
the
them
king was
to
the
have
commander in
babies
chief.
as a last option
Which
to
is very
secure
sad because
permanent
at any
residency
time